Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well today. I can't believe it, but I'm actually starting school in a week. And pretty much the summer has been so long. I've been in summer break for about 5 months now, and I've become so restless. I've gotten so sick that I've been focused on being so sick that it's been so weird. But I've pretty much missed being in a regular routine and just being with a bunch of people and everything like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to starting school. However, with school starting, and I know a lot of you guys have already started school or is also in the same schedule like me and is about to start, you know, there's a lot of things you worry about, especially your grades and academics and how you're going to perform this quarter or semester. So I'm here to help you guys out. So a little bit about myself. In high school, actually, my junior year, I started doing this thing where I would actually write my goals for the semester and tips and tricks that have helped me in previous semesters to attain really good grades, attain straight A's. And pretty much I'm making that again for me, but this time for my first quarter of college. A lot of you guys are probably watching this video with hope that you guys can get some tips and tricks on how to have a really successful quarter, semester, I don't know, just in the end be able to attain some really good grades, but also while also being healthy and just being really happy in general. So hopefully these tips can be very helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, comment down below. Please subscribe if you like this video, and other than that, let's get to it. First tip for you guys is if you guys see that there is something that doesn't work with you that works with a lot of people, definitely just realize that, recognize that, know it's okay if it doesn't work for you, and just try to find an alternative to something that does work for you. Next tip of advice is to redo your notes and take time to really grasp the information that you may have not had time to grasp while you were actually in the lecture. This way, you're relearning the material, you're rereading it, and it just really helps you you know, grasp the information much more clear and better. And if you have any questions, you could always go back and ask your teacher after, because you may have not thought about those questions when you were in the lecture. But then also, if you want to go back and look at notes, you have something so much more neater and so much more nicer because you have time when you redo notes to make it look all colorful and pretty. My next tip of advice is when it comes to learning large concepts, one thing that you can do is just make diagrams. In psychology, for example, let's say you were learning about Carl Jung, he was a child psychologist or whatever, and there's a lot of theories that he had and he believed in and he pretty much emphasized, and that's something you might have to study on a test, and you'd have to probably learn about other psychologists that were in that field as well. So one thing that really helps me out is just pretty much getting the larger index cards or just a blank sheet of white paper and just writing a diagram all about it and just having different sheets for every single theory. It really helps me understand large concepts and ideas. The next tip of advice is actually something that I've recently started doing because I realized I hated wearing my glasses if I did sit in the back, and that is basically sitting in the front. When you sit in the front, you are holding yourself accountable to staying awake in class, and your teacher, professor, lecturer, whatever is most likely having more attention towards you guys because you guys are in the front. So you pretty much are, you know, being held accountable. You can't just go on your computer and like do things or on your phone and things like that. You really have to be learning, and I realized that sitting in the front makes me so much more of an engaged person. I ask more questions that way and I pay more attention, and I'm less likely to fall asleep. So that's just one tip of advice, is if you guys can, definitely sit in the front. The next tip of advice is to ask questions. Asking questions is nothing that's bad. It's really good actually. There might be other classmates in your class at that time that has the same question, but they're too scared to ask. Surround yourself with people that tend to thrive really well in academics, that usually push themselves really hard and really serious about it and everything. I realized that the friends that you're around, especially when it comes to studying and when it comes time to final exams and stuff, that really helps with how you kind of study and how you prepare for something. If you are trying to be competitive with let's say for an application for a certain college or for a certain grad school, or just even for like magna cum laude, summa cum laude, stuff like that, it's be a competitive person, but don't be a shitty person. And that's pretty much, do not have that mentality that you are trying to thrive on your own, you're just gonna get there for yourself. Like, don't, you know, just don't be that way. People are most likely going to help you out if you help them out. Another tip of advice that can make it or break it is do not leave something without not understanding it. So let's say you're in a class right now, you're in your anthropology class, and you don't understand a certain structure within an animal or something like that, whatever. And let's say that, you know, your class ended and you are still questioning yourself about that. Do not just leave the class without understanding it. You're most likely not going to remember that you didn't know that. You're probably not going to come back and, you know, try to figure out what the answer was, and it could be later asked on a test. So just try to get the answers as soon as you ask the questions, because the sooner you learn it, the better it's going to stay in your head, and you just won't have to worry about it later on, and you're most likely not going to worry about it while you're taking a test. So another tip of advice in terms of health actually is make sure that you get plenty of sleep. And I realize I do much better on tests when I sleep and I get my full 7, 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is very important because you need it to function. So just don't ever compromise that. My last tip of advice is actually something that is really hard to understand, but it's something you have to put perspective into. And that is pretty much, do not think of school as your life, as your only thing that you have to worry about or be stressed out about. You have to be worried about your health, making sure your pet's all right, stuff like that. And school is not your life. Getting into a certain college is not such a serious thing. Getting into certain grad school, stuff like that, it shouldn't be so worried about. While you're trying to get good grades and doing well academically, you also need to be thriving for a balanced lifestyle, when it comes to health, friends, social life, family. And the more balance of a lifestyle you have, the more better you do on academics. So yeah, anyways, that is the end of my video. I hope it was really helpful for you guys. And if you guys want to see more videos like that, definitely stay tuned and subscribe. Thank you guys all for watching, and for all of you guys that are going back into school or have already started school, good luck. And I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.